As part of our unit on quadratics, we're going to be looking at factorizing monic quadratics. So I'm just going to highlight that because that's the key term of this unit. So a quadratic trinomial is an expression of the form y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So this is its general form. So ax squared plus bx plus c, and a, b, and c are our constants. So if an expression contains 1x squared, then we say that a is equal to 1. So if x squared has a coefficient, a coefficient of 1, then we call this a monic quadratic trinomial. So remember that when we expand an expression such as x plus 4 times x plus 3, we get the following. So I'll just quickly expand this and absolutely follow along if you need to. So x times x is x squared plus 4x plus 3x plus 12. That's because I've multiplied every term with every term in the second bracket. So we get x squared plus 7x plus 12 once we collect our like terms. So now what we're going to be looking at is, well, how do we go from x squared plus 7x plus 12 to its factorized form of x plus 4 times x plus 3. So to put it simply, what we can say is that to factorize a general quadratic, we look for factors that multiply to give us c. So when I say c, I'm referencing c in the general equation. And these two factors must also add to give us b, which is the coefficient in front of the x term. So if, for example, we look at x squared plus 13x plus 42, what I would do is look for numbers that multiply to give us 42. So factors of 42, which include 1 and 42, 6 and 7, and 13 and 4, and there's a few more. However, if we look at 6 and 7 as factors of 42, if we add 6 plus 7, we also get the coefficient of the x term, which is 13. So now what we do is we write in a bracket x plus 6 and x plus 7. So if we were to factorize x squared plus 13x plus 42, what we get is x plus 6 in one bracket times x plus 7 in another. So let's have a go at doing some of the worked examples. I've included the explanation to the right hand side, so feel free to follow along. So we're given the expression x squared plus 8x plus 7. So the first hint we're given is to find the factors that give us 7. So if we identify our factors of 7, we have 1 and 7, but note that we also have -1 and -7. Because when these are multiplied together, we get +7 for both. However, if we add -1 and -7, when we add this, or when we add these two numbers, we actually get -8, not +8. So we can actually discount this. And if we look at 1 and 7, when we add them together, we also get 8. So it looks like what we're writing in our bracket is the factorized form of x squared plus 8x plus 7 is x plus 1 times x plus 7. And if you're starting out and you're wanting to check that your answers are correct, absolutely go back and expand your answer. If you expand your answer, you should be able to arrive at the question itself. So let's do it. I'll do it in green to just differentiate that this is us just doing a check. So x times x is x squared, x times 7 is 7x, 1 times x is just x, and then 1 times 7 is 7. So now x squared plus, if we add those like terms together, we get 8x plus 7. So if we check this against the original question, yep, they match, so we know that our factorizing is correct. So let's have a look at the next one. So we're given the expression x squared plus 6x minus 16. So now we need to look for factors that multiply to give us negative 16. So if we take a look at our combinations, we have 1 times negative 16, or we can have negative 16 and, we can have negative 1 and positive 16, both of which multiply to give us negative 16. We can have 2 times negative 8, or we can have negative 2 times 8. We can also have 4 times negative 4 and negative 4 times 4, so whichever combination totally works. So looking at these combinations now, so we need to work out which one of these 6 combinations will add to give us positive 6. So this is where it gets a little bit tricky, and you need to make sure that you're practicing your negative number skills. So if we take a look at our combinations, 1 plus negative 16 is not going to give us positive 6, so we can cross that out. Just like negative 1 plus 16 is also not going to give us 6. If we look at 2 minus 8, if we add 2 to negative 8, we're going to have negative 6. So we're getting close, but not quite there. But then if we look at the next one, we have negative 2 plus 8. So if we add those two together, we definitely get positive 6. So we're looking like we're on the right path, but let's just quickly check our last combination. 4 plus negative 4 or negative 4 plus 4 is going to give us 0. So both of these options are also out. So remember that the rule said, or the general rule said, look for factors that multiply to give us c, which is our constant, and also add to give b. So b in this example is 6, and we found that negative 2 plus times by negative 2 times by positive 8 gives us negative 16, but when we add negative 2 to 8, we get positive 6. So here we write in our bracket, in our factorized form, x minus 2 times x plus 8. And again, if you want to check that this is correct, I implore that you expand these two brackets and check to see whether you arrive at the question. And our final example has us trying to factorize the equation or the expression x squared minus 2x minus 15. Again, the first thing you want to do is identify which factors multiply to give us negative 15. So just right here, give negative 15. So we've got negative 1 and positive 15, or we have negative 15 times 1, both of which give, when multiplied together, give us negative 15. We have 3 and negative 5, or we have negative 5 and 3. So taking a look at these 4 combinations now, we need to work out which one of these, when added together, give us negative 2. It's really important you take note of the operation in front of the number, because that'll imply whether or not the number is negative or positive. So if we look back at our combinations again, negative 1 plus 15 does not equal negative 2, so we can cross that out. Just like negative 15 plus 1 does not equal negative 2. Then we have 3 plus negative 5. This will give us negative 2. So it looks like, this will give us 3 plus negative 5. I've written the wrong combination down, So that should be negative 3 and 5. So negative 3 plus 5 will give us positive 2. So again, that's not what we want. But it looks like negative 5 plus 3 will give us negative 2. So this is our combination that's going in our brackets. So we write x minus 5 times x plus 3. And that's how we go on to factorize monic quadratics. So just to reiterate, monic quadratics means when a is equal to 1, so the coefficient in front of the x squared term is 1. And notice that here, for each one of them, the coefficient in front of the x squared was 1, therefore making it monic. And another thing to look out for is when you are working out the factors, make sure that you do write the negative number combinations as well, because you can see in example 2 and 3, we actually required negative numbers in order to factorize our monic quadratics properly.